Welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable pop-up event. This event is exclusively sponsored by BG Products, partners beyond products. Now, on with the live event.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Van Tine, and I have with me some very special guests, Ed Roberts, Tully Williams, and another person that I'm excited to announce, Marco, one of the most famous technicians. Ted, you wanted to ask some questions?
Sarah, I would say arguably Marco Zwanenberg has become the most famous technician in America. Marco, on behalf of the Fixed Ops Roundtable, we want to thank you for all that you've done and take us back to just a couple of years ago, how the Roundtable got started, because you were extremely instrumental in making that happen.
Right, thank you, Ted. First of all, it's been a pleasure to work with all you guys and see this grow to where it's became. First of all, you want to get something done, take me out to lunch, but no pizza. Ted will tell you all about that. Funny enough, it was in April, I believe, of 2019 that Ted and I, we just got started on LinkedIn, and he texted me, hey, I'm going to be in Orlando. How far of a drive is that for you, since I live in Naples? I'm like, a few hours, I'll come up and meet you. So we did. We had lunch, we talked about the business, and we came up with this thing called the Roundtable. Well, we didn't really know it was going to be the Roundtable at that point, but a group of industry professionals working with industry professionals. So basically, all of us from all ranks, F&I, sales, service, parts, talking with each other and sharing our knowledge and our passion for the industry, the dealerships, and how can we just make it all better? How can we make everything flow? And here we are, 4 years later, Ted, back in Orlando.
Sarah, what Marco hasn't mentioned is that when we got together for lunch a little over 4 years ago in Orlando, Florida, I was kind of on the fence with doing this whole Roundtable thing. Marco, I had told you that I wasn't sure that people would even come to such an event.
And they did. And in March. Oh, they keep coming. Remember the first little one in your office in New York?
Yep. So Marco Zwanenberg flew up to New York in May of 2019. We held the first Fixed Ops Roundtable in my boardroom. And that was the very beginning of what has become now many, many, many events. And Marco, if it's okay, I want to ask Tully. Tully, how did you become involved with the Roundtable after that?
You know, when I saw that first one, it was in New York, so it was pretty far from us on the West Coast. He luckily came out to the West Coast, and your second one was in Beverly Hills. And Ted and I go way back to our John Anderson Chevrolet, where he came in and trained us on his walk-around process in the driveway. And I was super excited to see him back in there. I'm thinking, oh my God, I got to get to this. We did some messaging. He invited me down for that great event, and it was a lot of fun. I got the best work. I got the best speech award, which I was so happy about.
The very first best practice award that Tully Williams won. And Marco, another thing is that I invited Tully to speak, but when he got up there and started talking, I wasn't sure who he was because I had never seen this type of energy and charisma from Tully Williams.
You know, spot on. Hours is what it's all about. As you know, we look at our technicians like Marco's, is that we are here to help drive hours, and that was my message so long ago. And look at today, how you're showing off the Fixed Ops department, starting on these roundtables. It is just an unbelievable job, Ted, and can't thank you enough.
And you became involved maybe an event or two later in Las Vegas. Tell us about that.
I was on a podcast. I was frequently on a podcast with Owen Moon. And at that time, you was known as Mr. Social. and then that podcast, Owen says, have you ever met Ted? And I said, Mr. Social? And he said, yes. And no, I haven't. 10 minutes later, I'm on the phone with Mr. Social himself. And the rest has been history. I was at the one in Las Vegas, the last one that was live before we got struck with the COVID bug. Mm-hmm. And then we converted and switched to digital, and it's just been ongoing from there.
Yeah, so we're very grateful to Owen Moon for the introduction to you, Ed Roberts, and that's when you first came out. And Sarah, as I recall, that was the very first time that you and I met as well.
Yes, it was. It was a LinkedIn message from Roger Conant, actually, that really connected us and had that event. And it's funny because Ed and Tully and I had met each other in Orlando before at a Fixed Ops conference. And then it was really amazing to get to connect with them again at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. And it's been so exciting to see the developments and how it's grown.
So, Marco, Tully has a saying that he wants his technicians to go home rich and tired, all right? What opportunities have come up for you with the Roundtable professionally and personally in the last several years?
Well, as you remember the little video you asked me to make, what has the Roundtable done for you? On one hand, and this is where the two hands came in. On one hand, professionally, I'm still fixing cars, saving the world one car at a time. On the other hand, the Roundtable has given me the opportunity to become the voice of technicians all over the country. What is keeping us down? What is irking us? And it's been things that people didn't think about. It's not the money. I've said that, and it blew the mind of some people. It's not, you can pay me $1,000 an hour. If I need pills to get to work in the morning, not doing it. Culture, guys. We talk about that.
Yes, we do.
Support, everything that comes through it. So for me, it has become such an instrumental part of my life at the Fixed Ops Roundtable to carry the message from technicians and make it better for technicians, managers, the dealership, everything all together.
And Tully, Marco's work on the Roundtable has led to panels that include technicians and best practices for technicians. And it's really, I think, helped elevate the technician in our industry.
We needed that voice. A lot of times you have managers talking about do this, do that. But you know what? Having a voice of a technician talking about the hardship they do, right? They're in the shop, busting their knuckles every day, trying to produce those hours, do those great diagnoses, of course, great tech videos and inspections and make those recommendations that we'd sell our family members. It all starts with a technician, and it's so great to have Marcos be that voice to talk about that side of the business. And of course, Ted, make sure we can talk about it at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Ed, talk to us a little bit about technicians and the importance of them having a voice. I know it's something that you do second nature at Bozard Ford Lincoln, but talk to us industry-wide about the technicians as well.
Well, we're in retail, and retail we have inventory, and inventory for our service departments is our technicians. It's the hours that they bring to the table, and we need to be engaged with our inventory. We need to be connected with them, and we need to understand what makes them tick, what their purpose is. And if we understand what their purpose is, then we can enhance their elements at work.
Yeah, I love it.
Ed, you're spot on. I think that if you talk about, when you look at a fixed ops department and you talk about hours every day, which I do, probably too much, but what it does is it focuses everybody on the inventory, like Ed said. We sell hours. Parts helps us sell hours, right? But without everybody to do their job, we can't sell those hours. So it really starts with the technician showcasing that capacity, showcasing their abilities to make those great recommendations and diagnoses, and then showing those wins at your store, which means the parts department, the service department, everybody at the store wins.
Tying it all together.
Tie it all together. Spot on.
And Sarah, the conversation has evolved so much. I'm amazed. Tully, at his recent pop-up event, one of the things we did with the technicians was focus on those recommendations, on the videos that technicians send out to the customers and improving those. So Sarah, I think the sky is the limit where we go with the technicians and getting them involved with these events.
Oh, absolutely. And it's so exciting to have a voice like Marco's representing so many different facets of the service department and the need for our customers to have better experiences too.
Where does that voice come from there, Marco?
Well, there's this cute little... Originally, this voice hailed from the Royal Kingdom of the Netherlands. To be exact. And no, I do not have wooden shoes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see Ed and Marco and Tully where this goes. It continues to evolve. Marco, we're very grateful to you for helping start the Fixed Ops Roundtable, one of the founding members and getting it started.
It just needed a kickstart, and we did it.
Yeah, and here we are again.
Here we are.
Yeah. And you know what, Tully and Ed and Sarah, I'm grateful to all of you because you helped us take us to a very difficult period in the automotive retail industry. So on behalf of the entire retail community, thank you for all that you do.
Well, Ed, you brought Fixed Ops to the top, and I tell you, you have done an incredible job for all of us here today to talk about Fixed Ops and make it Fixed Ops great again. Can't thank you enough.
Absolutely.
Ed Roberts, everybody, Marco Zwanenberg, Sarah Van Tyne, Tully Williams here at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Stay with us. We have a lot coming up here at the third pop-up event at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Our revolutionary pop-up events have sparked a new wave of growth and innovation.
Become a part of the brand that is shaping retail fixed operations at fixedopsroundtablecertified.com. Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings. We are excited to be speaking with Owen Moon, one of the certified partners with Fixed Ops Digital.
Owen, welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Great event.
And congratulations to you and Fixed Ops Digital for all you do in our industry and on becoming a certified partner at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thank you. We're excited to be here and excited to be a part of that. So,
and one more congratulations on your relationship in the company with Kaiser Automotive Group here with Sean Kingry as well.
yeah, I've known Sean obviously for a few years, and lucky enough now to be able to partner with them and help them with some of their online service marketing initiatives, and had a really good chance to meet some of Sean's team through this process. So super excited. We're kind of just kicking things off, but a lot of big things to come for the Kaiser Automotive Group. So
Owen, I know that you are a student of this business, and speaking of marketing, what would you say over the last 10 years has been some of the biggest changes that you're seeing as fixed operations continues to evolve at the dealership level?
It's a great question. I think one of the biggest changes that I'm seeing is the evolution from customer retention and loyalty to more online initiatives, right? As more and more people are using smartphones and going online to find information, get educated, look for recommendations about different, maybe different services that they need for their vehicles. They're turning to the internet. They're turning to the dealership's website, and so we have to become more of a resource for that. And so that's a big change that I think that a lot of dealerships maybe haven't been prepared for, and are now seeing that it's becoming more important than ever.
Sean, from your perspective?
So, and again, my relationship with Owen's gone back 5 or 6 years now when I was back in Florida. And the online presence, it's amazing with the websites you would go to where we got called out, and that's what Owen helped us with, is to make sure that your website coupons match what your OEM's putting out on your own website. You would literally have 2 different offers on the same website and not even realize it.
Yeah. Owen, your company does a great job in that fixed ops space. You are the leader. You're really the only one in that space because you actually do fixed operations where other companies say they do, but you do that. Over the next 10 years, Owen, as you look forward into your crystal ball, what do you think is the biggest threat for dealerships' fixed operations?
That's a kind of a loaded question. I think there's a lot of threats. I mean, I think it's not just one, but I think if I'm a dealership, right, looking at the 10-year idea, the 10-year roadmap, I'm thinking your people. People is becoming everything. And part of the process of working with Sean and his new group, I really saw how Sean championed his people and really brought them in as part of the solution and part of the answer for what we're trying to accomplish. And I think that gives your employees, that gives your team ownership in what you're doing, and really holds them accountable for the results. But yeah, people are going to be a big part of. It's always a big part, right? But even more so, I think we've seen some of the struggles in the last few years of the dealerships that didn't have a good team of people around them and what they're able to accomplish. So I think people's going to be the big thing. Obviously, embracing technology. There's a lot going on with the OEMs and EVs, and I think that's going to be a whole nother realm. But I think there's a lot of different things that dealerships are going to have to really focus on.
Sean, from your perspective?
So, and how Owen got back into the Kaiser Group, it's kind of a real quick story. Is I was up at my Green Bay store, and my old Chrysler rep from a previous lifetime 20 years ago is now in charge of marketing for Chrysler. And him and I are on the phone together, and he's quite frankly handing me my lunch about how bad our online marketing was. And he goes, I'm going to recommend somebody. And I said, well, if you say Owen Moon, I'm going to laugh. And he goes, well, you know Owen? I said, I happen to know Owen. So I called my dealer principal, and he goes, oh, you're talking about Fixed Ops Digital? Because he had met with them. They just weren't at that point a couple of years ago. And so what we did was Owen and I talked, and then we signed the contracts and we moved forward, is having 3 major OEM lines as far as between 8 stores, is I took my leaders from the Chrysler store, a leader from the Ford store, a leader from the Chevy stores, and instead of competing with each other, because I don't want a different price at one store to a different store, they take the lead, and all my Chevy stores are the same, and all my Chrysler stores are all the same, and all my Ford stores are the same.
Wow. Moving forward, fixed operations, digital marketing, that's here to stay, Sean.
It's not going anywhere. I mean, people are looking online. People know when they come to buy a car online already. It's no different on the fixed operations side. And to your point, that's what Owen brings to the table. You're right. A lot of people talk like they do it. But again, how do you have different coupons on the same website? Owen focuses on it's what his people do. And, I'm not here just to plug Owen, and Owen's a phone call away. And I can tell you, I've texted Owen at 11 o'clock at night, and he's never not responded.
Well, and we're evolving it. It's not just about your coupons and putting pricing out there, but it's also about the experience that you're providing to the customer. So, we have some really great integrations with our platform with repair financing companies. We've been talking with, different companies about other ways that we can help integrate into that environment, because when it comes down to it, it's one customer that's trying to do a lot of different things, right? Maybe they're looking for a service that they want to get done. Maybe they're looking for a recall, and they want to make sure that their car doesn't have a recall. So do you have some way to check for recalls on your website? And maybe even looking at like trade appraisal. I mean, from that point on, what's a great way, Sean, you know this, what's a great way to get that used car into your dealership? It's to, get it through the service lane. Right. So trying to become more integrated throughout the entire process, as opposed to just saying, hey, here's some coupons, let's get them on the website. That's really our mission. And we feel like, we're nowhere where we want to be, but we're in a really good spot, and we just keep plugging forward and helping stores. So,
Sarah, isn't it amazing how this digital space continues to evolve and grow? And really, that's all part of the entire ecosystem at the dealership.
It definitely is. And Owen is spot on with how this entire experience is a cohesive experience. Really having your marketing for all of your stores, as Sean mentioned, on point across your brands. That's all going to be key to the customer's perception of if they want to do business with you.
Anyway, congratulations to both Sean Kingery and Owen Moon on working together with the organizations. Fixed Ops Digital on becoming a certified partner for the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Owen, we look forward to a lot more of these with you and to expanding the Fixed Ops space.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Everybody, Owen Moon, Fixed Ops Digital, the premier agency for Fixed Ops, and Sean Kingery with us here today at the third pop-up event at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Stay with us, we have a whole lot more coming up.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings, and we are so excited to introduce Ron Overs. Ron, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. This should be a lot of fun. Ron Overs, everybody, the publisher of Fixed Ops Magazine. Ron, you and I work on a lot of things together, and we're very grateful to you and for all you do for our industry.
Well, thank you. It is an exciting industry. A lot of fun working with everyone in fixed operations. There's so many new things happening in this industry. It's just fun to get people together and share those ideas to find best practices for everyone.
Yeah.
Ron, I've got to ask you, what have you enjoyed most about being the publisher of Fixed Ops Magazine?
I think what's most fun about being publisher of the magazine is actually the opportunity to bring out people that otherwise wouldn't want to write an article in a magazine. If I came to you and said, you know what, Sarah, I'd like you to stand in front of a football stadium full of people, 40,000 people, and tell them something, you'd say, yeah, I don't know if I want to do that. Well, that's exactly what our magazine does. It gets out in front of almost 40,000 people every other month. And you have a chance to actually slow down, choose your words, and say something to them that actually is meaningful and really help them grow. So it's a lot of fun. It really is to actually take people who would otherwise say, I can't do this, and say, come on, together we can make this happen.
And I know you and I see a lot of things happening in our industry. Any trends that you're seeing in that fixed op space right now?
I think the biggest trends that have continued since the COVID time is obviously technicians, finding, training, keeping technicians, motivating people, keeping them where they need to be. And right now, I think what's going to happen over the next year or two is getting labor rates right so that you can actually continue to make profits, having parts available to do things like that, and finding out what technology they can integrate into their business and make it work better.
Yeah, and I see you got a couple issues with you here today.
When I mentioned that we bring some people out who might otherwise not do that, I don't know if you can see this, but, Ted, here's his cover on the magazine. Then, of course, here's another person. I said, this one's much better. This is a much prettier picture. I got a Sarah with me. These are like playing cards, right? Now, of course, we always got to have an Ed Roberts, right? So Ed's actually hit 2 covers. So Ed's done some very special things. He's been there as well. And, on your show, you also had Sean Kingery. And went all the way to Wisconsin to get Sean's picture on this thing. So lots of fun with all of that. Just interviewing these people, learning them, finding out what really makes them, what works well for them.
Ron, you've given such a voice to so many people in the industry, but tell us, what is something that you enjoy doing outside of being a publisher for Fixed Ops Magazine?
So yeah, you want to get away with it with any business, right? You want to get away from it. For you, equestrian, right? The horses, things like that. You want to do some boating, Ted, and get out there. For me, it's playing tennis. Love playing tennis, and have had a great time doing that. Get to meet lots of people, and really enjoy just getting out and being outdoors here in Florida.
Well, Ron, thanks for all you do for our industry and for literally putting a face on Fixed Ops, all right? Focusing on the people and as we've been talking today, Sarah, the culture and the processes, you really help bring all that to life.
Thank you, Ted. Appreciate it very much.
Yeah, appreciate the friendship. And everybody, Ron Over is the publisher of Fixed Ops Magazine. Don't go away. We have a lot more coming up at the third pop-up event at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Be
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Van Tine. Ted, this has been an amazing event.
Sarah, our very third Fixed Ops Roundtable pop-up event, and we saw a whole lot here today.
It has been an amazing group of people that have shared so much information with us today. I've been just so impressed with all of the different topics that have come up at the pop-up.
Yeah, and we've had a lot of great friends here, you know, from Tully Williams to Ed Roberts to Sean Kingery to Marco Zwanenberg. I mean, I apologize if I don't mention everybody, but really so many friends of the Roundtable are here.
It's really been an amazing time, and I'm thank you, Ted, for putting this together in such an amazing format.
Well, Sarah, I think we got a great team, okay? A lot of folks here who are participating in Fixed Ops and help take us to a new level. I also want to thank our exclusive sponsor for the Fixed Ops Roundtable. It's BG Products, Partners Beyond Products. Everybody, to visit BG online, go to bgprod.com, bgprod.com. And again, very grateful to BG Products for all they do for our industry. And all right, third pop-up and a whole lot more to come.
Thank you so much, Ted.
All right. On behalf of Sarah Van Tine and BG Products, I'm Ted Ings with the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We'll see you at our next pop-up event and, of course, at the big Fort Stock event in September, on September 18th through 21st. Stay with us, everybody. We'll see you there.